Have you noticed that all music and movies lately tend to be the same, and compared to the 80s or 90s, they're just not as good? Well, you may be onto something. Let's talk about it. Hey, how you doing? My name is Paul. Welcome back to the channel. And if it's your first time here, this channel is all about success mindset and sales training videos. So if you want to succeed in life and business and sell more sales, go ahead and subscribe down below. And don't forget to hit that bell notification button so you don't miss anything. Today we're going to talk about the psychology of music and psychology of movies. Something is going wrong. Everything looks and sounds the same. By the way, real quick, before I go on, comment down below if you also notice that all movies and music sound the same lately, and tell me if you think I'm right or wrong. I'd really like to know. So during the 80s or 90s, they say that was the best music era, and probably for movies as well. But things started to change and things just sound all the same nowadays. Why is that? So let's start by talking about why music sounds the same lately compared to the 80s and 90s, and why the 80s and 90s sound better, and we'll move on to movies after. So during the 80s and 90s, there was a music movement and record labels were fighting over the best artists. Unique albums like the Beatles and more just came out with new music, new vibes, and just something unique. And people were just overwhelmed. They would go to record stores, buy records, and so forth. Over time, the record labels, the CDs, and the cassettes, however, were taken over by illegal downloads. The internet changed things, and record labels were losing money. What they also realized is when people hear something constantly over and over again, they become accustomed to it, begin to like it, and it feels familiar. So for this reason, if you actually look at the music today, they all have the same sort of notes. Also, people's attention has dropped and, everyone's competing for your time. Billboards, Facebook, everything, TVs. So record labels have to also compete. How would they do this? What they have discovered is something revolutionary that even Einstein wouldn't have thought of it, and that was to make their music louder. But how do you make your music louder when people can control the volume on their radio, in their car, or wherever they are? This is where compression comes in, and everybody started trying to compress the music, to make it louder, to amplify it, if you will. But here's the problem with that. The more you compress something and amplify it to make it louder, the more instruments and unique sound properties are lost. That alone makes everything start sounding the same, but wait, there's more. Everyone is amplifying their music, everyone's trying to make it louder, but they also realize that everybody's connected to some sort of theme song they've heard before. Fun fact, did you know that 90% of the songs, don't quote me on that, but about 90% of all hit tracks are written just by 2 people in the world? That's right, and if you want to know more about that, go ahead and click this link right here, and it will give you more specifics and more details. So everything used to sound better and more original in the 80s and 90s because it did, and everything is sounding the same nowadays because it does. So that's with music, and it's the same thing with movies. So you are not crazy, you are not getting old. Music used to be better. Music was more original. Music was more unique, and so were movies. Thank you for your time. I'm Paul Democritou, and until next time, keep succeeding.